What's up, guys? Tim here from WSK Outdoors, aka Whitetail Serial Killers. Today we're going to talk about sharpening broadheads. We're going to focus on the 3-blade VPAs, the 200 grains. They're fairly easy to sharpen compared to 2 blades. We'll go over that in another video. But I want to focus on the tools required. A lot of people use a lot of different things, but we found some tricks that really help sharpen, razor sharp, right? We want a sharp broadhead. There's some tricks to it. We're going to go over that today, so stay tuned. Okay, let's talk about the equipment we're going to use today. Some folks use a whetstone. That can work well. Right here I've got a 1000, 4000 combo, so you want to start with the lowest number. That would be have the most grain or grit to it, most aggressive, and you flip it over and do the 4000. This works well with stainless steel blades. A lot of your pocket knives can work well, but I found these VPA broadheads, whether you're shooting 2-blade, 3-blade, regardless of the weight, they're a heat treated steel. They are so hard that it's difficult to sharpen with a whetstone. You can get a polished sharp. You can use a whetstone. That would be better than taking them right out of the pack and going hunting, because they put an edge on them at the factory, but in my opinion that's not sharp enough to hunt with if you want to make an ethical shot. So you can use the whetstone, put a little, I like to use vegetable oil, put a little vegetable oil on it, and you can take it to a nice edge, a nice way to maybe tune them up. If you have shot the broadhead and maybe you killed an animal, maybe you didn't, maybe you flung one in the dirt, a good place to start is just good old sandpaper. You might get, if you look closely, you might get some burrs on the edges. Obviously it might be coated in mud or blood, what have you. I've actually shot 2 deer with the same broadhead this year, so super happy with the performance of these broadheads from VPA. But you can I literally just lay it over the block, take an aggressive grit sandpaper, and all we're going to do is apply light pressure moving forward, so tip to tail, and an even number of strokes. So in this case I'll just do three strokes on each side for demonstration purposes. But the key here is use a low grit sandpaper, a 50 or a 60, a 80 works well. And we're just taking the burrs off the blade. Sometimes you get a little hair, a little meat, a little dirt on there. This will just kind of clean it up. We're not sharpening right now, we're just correcting the edge. If you have a brand new broadhead out of the pack, I recommend you take a Sharpie and paint the blades with the Sharpie. That way when you're sharpening you can actually see if you're getting even contact. It's all about even contact. You want to make sure you don't want to push too far down on the front, too hard down on the back. You want nice even contact. So again, start with an aggressive paper, go to a little bit finer grit, same thing. Even number of strokes, we're going to do 3 on each side. Again, applying even pressure, not terribly hard, just nice even pressure. You can feel it. Do another set of 3. You see that okay? And I can tell you, I've been shooting these a lot, all 3 of these. Again, I shot 2 deer with this broadhead this year. Pretty cool. 2 bucks, 2 weekends, 1 broadhead. That's a story for another day. You can start to feel now, we got a nice clean edge. It's not sharp. I can't shave with it. It's certainly not ready to hunt with, but sandpaper works great for getting your edge back. My favorite thing to use, especially with a quality broadhead like a VPA, is the diamond blade set. The folks at Sirius Archery did a really great job. They have a diamond sharpening set They sell the Stropping Compound, which you see here on my Strop. And they also sell the blade edge or blade guard paste. So on my diamond blades, instead of using oil, vegetable oil, some people use 3-in-1, I'm going to use the paste. So we're going to apply the paste directly to the blades, and we're going to show you how this works. So I got a nice holder here. You get in the kit, you get 4 blades. So you're going to get a 300, which is really aggressive, a 600, flip it over, 300, 600, and then you're also going to get, and I keep them in the original pack so they don't get beat up, really nice stones here, guys. You're going to get a 1000 and a 1200. So in this case, I wouldn't use the whetstone at all. I would just use my sandpaper. I'd get the burrs off. I clean the broadhead up. I keep an old toothbrush in my kit, so if I get any dirt or mud on there, I can clean that up. And then I immediately go from the sandpaper to the 300. Applying the same even pressure. This is a little bit longer too than my whetstone, so I like that. I can get a little bit longer stroke here. We're going to go back to this guy. We're going to put a little blade paste on there. Blade guard, blade paste, same thing. It's a lubricant, non-toxic. It's food grade, so it's similar to using the vegetable oil. So you can put this right on the stone or on the blade. Since it comes in this little chapstick style applicator, I'm actually going to just do the stone. So right in the middle. Doesn't take a lot of pressure. Just want to get some lube on there. And that's really going to help in the sharpening process. You got any extra, you can leave it on your finger. You're probably going to need it. So again, nice even strokes starting at 300. So you can really feel how aggressive that is. It's actually more aggressive than the sandpaper I was just using. So in this case, I'm going to do 6. Last side. I can already feel it's moving easier. It's gliding a little bit better along the stone. The 4th and 5th and 6th strokes were a little bit smoother than even the first. And I'm starting to see not wear, but polishing is the best way I could call it. The 3 blades are really nice and easy to sharpen. You don't need to put them in a jig. 2 blades, when we do that video another day, I'll show you how to do that with a jig. But the 3 blades, really simple. A lot of guys shoot 3 blades. I'd say 100 grains probably the most common. So there's no reason to be walking around in the woods with a dull broadhead. If you don't know how to sharpen a broadhead, it's time to learn. Not much different than sharpening a knife. So again, we're going to just flip the stone over. Now we got a 600. Apply some lube there. And you can use oil. I like the kit from Sirius Archery. They just did a nice job kitting it all up. They have a really extra long strop, which I'll show you here. This is my old strop. This is the new strop from Sirius Archery. Really, really long. I mean, it's twice the size of a typical strop. So you get nice long even strokes, and they'll even personalize it for you. So nice little touch there. So now we're moving on to the 600, same broadhead. We're going to do 4 strokes each side. Nice even strokes. I wouldn't clean the blade just yet. You need a little bit of lube on there. You can apply the lube directly to the blade. On a new stone, that actually might be a little bit easier. Just use it like chapstick. And then any of the extra that you get on your hand or that falls down in the valley here, you just take it out with your finger, put it on the stones. So, all right, let's move on to the finer grit. So again, 1,000, 1,200. So we're going to go to 1,000 next. Haven't used this set a lot, so I'm going to apply some lube directly to the stone. Really nice kit. It's got some nice weight to it. It doesn't move around a bunch. So again, you can use a whetstone. You can use regular sandpaper, especially in a pinch. Maybe you're out of town. You can get something like that from the hardware store. But if you're going to use a quality broadhead like a VPA, you know, a heat treated steel or a Rockwell, at least a Rockwell 7, maybe a 9, I don't recall. It's a really hard finish. You're going to need a diamond to get the razor sharp edge that we desire. So again, really light pressure. I'm going to only do 4 on this one. Again, you want to go in the direction that the arrow travels when you're sharpening. When you're stropping, it'll be the opposite.